Thank you so much, friend, for coming here and sharing your vibe with us. But we want to get into who Migs Whiskey really is.
Let's do it.
So we want to dive into that.
Let's run it.
Hey, besides seeing you around, you know what I'm saying? Like, who are you, right? But what's up with the music? How did you get into music? What's up with the punk rock scene? Tell us.
Montebello, 11, 12 years old. I mean, even before that, it was skating. Skating was like the thing. It was skateboards. Tony Hawk Bros Skater had like the songs, MTV, Carson Daly, you know, the top songs. And
TRL?
Yeah, TRL. And then with that was just getting into those songs and really relating with them. And then my first gig, backyard gig, Islos.
That's right.
And yeah, it was an experience, you know. You got the drinking, you got the weed smell all in the air. You got
the 40-ounce of Mickey's?
Yeah, there we go, Mickey's, 211s, Colt 45s. Cops raid it. People run out. It's like a riot. And
how did we not cross paths?
Yeah, I don't know. You know, because there was a lot of scenes too in the punk, right? So you had like Azusa had a scene, right? East Los, we had a scene. SGV, South Central had their scene.
Yeah.
And some scenes even had their bands, you know, like in East Los, we had a certain amount of bands that were known for playing our area. Yeah. But it was always cool to get like the guest appearances like Monster Squad or like Clip 45, all these bands that would just show up. And again, for me, it wasn't only street punk, oi, the garage band. There was metal, thrash, hardcore, you know, and the hardcore scene was its own scene. It was like punk rockers with athletic clothes, you know, they had the New Balances and the short shorts, and they used to throw the hands in different kinds of pits. Yeah. So that was my introduction to the whole punk thing. And
isn't that crazy how like the backyard gigs back in the day, the flyers, you know, BYOB, No Snappers.
No Snappers.
You know, you had like bands like SMD, Threatening Verse, Clip 45.
Funeral Dress.
RF-47. Oh, yeah, no, a bunch of them.
Yeah.
And some of them even play till this day.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
So it's kind of crazy to go through that and then see how the punk rock scene is now is so different, but yet still amazing.
Yeah.
You know?
And yeah, and the people still got it in their heart. I still go to shows all the time. I still see it. The old band's great. There's a couple of guys in the scenes that are like even bringing the bands from like Europe, still having it going. The promoters, you know, some of the artists became promoters, and yeah. But the backyard gigs for sure. That's where it was at.
You ever go to Characters?
Yeah, for sure. Characters.
Who doesn't go to
Glass
Characters?
House, with Allen Theater. There was like
Showcase
all these
Theater.
Places. Yeah, there was all. Yeah, there was
Chain Reaction.
Key Club in Hollywood when it was open. House of Blues on Sunset when it was open. You know, there was a lot of places for sure.
The Key Club, that's my first punk show, Circle Jerks. I was 14.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vice, I seen Vice Squad, Lower Class Brats there, the Casualties, the Misfits when Jerry Only was doing like Project 1950, I think it was.
Yeah.
And I used to love that place. There was one of the bouncers there. We got so cool that I wouldn't even buy a ticket. I would just show up and he's like, hey, go through the smoking area, fool. And I don't know his name, but if he's watching this, he had a Playboy bunny on his neck, but he wasn't from Playboys. But he was like this big ass dude with a Playboy bunny, and I always knew if he was on the door, I was like, I'm getting in.
That's right.
And it was always a good flex when you had a girl with you, and she's like, "What, we're gonna get into the show?" I'm like, "Oh, we're gonna get into the show, baby."
So, now that you were in the punk scene and everything, and then you got inspired, and then how did you playing the instrument and become Migs Whiskey come about?
All right, so again, backyard gigs, punk scene, skateboarding. I hung out with these two females, Jessica and Layla. Layla, rest in peace, her dad was a well-known guitarist in Montebello. He used to play in a band called the Party Animals. They were like a thrash punk band. They used to play off Bluff Road. It was like 1% bikers were there, and 1% bikers and the whole punk scene. And the Havoc played there. Like if anyone knows that band for sure, it was they played that backyard, and it was a great house, and so many great bands played there, including my band, Vicious Assault, at the time. And I got cool with them. Jessica and Layla both were musically inclined, so they started playing guitar. And then later on, I went home, told my mother, I'm like, I want a guitar. And she's like, okay. We went to Montebello Mall, and down by the escalators, they used to have a guitar store. And I bought a Sunlight acoustic guitar. And that day I went home and I played like my life, was on the line. And I learned what I would later find out to be G, C, and D, which is one of the quotes that I got from one of the country singers. He's like, punk rock country, it's just 3 chords in the truth. And when I learned those 3 chords, I looked at my homeboy Vicious, and I'm like, let's start a band. And we started a band with one of the homies from Pico Rivera, and we would practice at his house, and we started seeing who was gonna play what instrument. So it was Vicious was gonna play guitar because he was great at guitar.
Yeah.
The homie was gonna play drums, and I was gonna play bass. But after we had that going, it's like we need a singer, and we all decided to go home, write a song, and whoever came out with the best song would be the singer. And I ended up writing, and that's when I found what I would like to say is my true craft. I'm not a guitarist, I'm not all that other stuff, but I love to write. And I think it's just a storyteller in me because I love storytelling.
I love that. So when was your first gig?
Our first gig was, I want to say, after like 4 practices, someone decided to have a gig in Pico around the corner from the homie that we used to practice with. And the parent showed up. And then they're all like, this is not happening, not in our house. And the homie, little Mikey, he was in another band called, what were they called? Not Malpensados, not Iconoclastic Attack. Malpensados? No, The Clerks. That's what it was. It was The Clerks. And we ended up going to Mikey's house, and that was the first time. But what I didn't know is that my homeboy Vicious was passing around my lyrics. So not only did I play that gig, and we did do a lot of covers, like A Global Threat, Virus, and people were obviously singing along to those, but we had this one song and everyone was singing the lyrics. I think it was Oi's Story. And just an other moment where I just knew, like, this is where I belong. This is my place. And I would have to say, like, music saves me from so much stuff. I would say it was my first spiritual experience, my religion, like everything about music, everything about the venues, the history of it, from punk to metal to the mainstream stuff. Like I love to go to the Rainbow. I like to go to the Viper Room, the Whiskey, just the history, the Troubadour, because of that. It's just TRL, all that stuff. Like MTV, it was just something that, I don't know, just always, I was like, yeah, this is what I want.
That's right.
And it's just like playing that first gig.
It's got you.
Boom, it was over.
Yeah. So when I go like this, you know what I'm gonna ask you? Hey, do you like Motorhead?
Yep, for sure. Ace of Spades.
That's right. I got it tattooed right here.
Yep, you do.
Right.
I saw that. Yeah.
That's right. I'm gonna do another one for like a Motorhead kind of thing, just to like match both sides.
No, is that your favorite band?
Besides Bad Brains, and I have that tattooed in my mouth.
Damn, Bad Brains. I wouldn't have thought Bad Brains.
Really?
Oh, Bad
I
Brains
know, but it
for
was
sure.
like one of my first. It's
Band
kind
in
of like
DC,
right? But like you know how people are like, you know, the Misfits skull or something, they got it
Yeah.
tattooed. It's like one of the first.
Stop it. Hey, I'm all like,
He's got it.
yeah. But my favorite band for me is the Eagles, which is not even punk, but like punk bands for sure. The Misfits,
Yeah.
which is so.
That's everybody's
Now
little.
you make me feel all like getting
The,
judged over here.
punk rock starter pack.
Yeah.
Remember like that? You know,
Starter
and
pack.
it's like yeah.
Boom. Yeah.
And that's what I felt like. What some of those bands were, but it's like it's a given. You have to listen to those bands, you know.
For sure. Misfits, Ramones, Sex Pistols, The Clash.
You already said, yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's
No,
it. That's
100%.
that's like the four.
Black Flag, Circle Jerks.
Black Flag for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, Circle Jerks.
Yeah, because those were like I've always listened to like Motorhead, Bad Brains, Black Flag, Circle Jerks. Those I could never get sick of, you know.
Yeah.
And then Motorhead, I could never get sick of Motorhead, and I think I know the lyrics front to back. That's something it's just instilled in my head. Like once I listened to Ace of Spades, obviously, I just became obsessed. You just
And the way he makes his bass sound is again something so creative that again as an artist you have to respect. Which again, like I wanna make that very clear. Like it's hard to monetize art, and it's like when you find something, you're gonna almost be criticized for a long time before everyone likes it. And it's just like I gotta respect stuff like that. I mean,
Yeah.
Hendrix, I mean anyone that's coming with a new sound is it's different. And you know, I've got to play with a lot of artists like that, like where they come out and everyone's like, "What is that?"
you
And
know
I'm like,
who's-
"I love that."
You know who's a breath of fresh air? Nate No Face.
Nate No Face for sure. Nate No Face with the synth punk, right?
So good.
I've talked about a couple of other artists, yeah, like Nate No Face, Prayers when they came out with their sound.
Desmadre is pretty badass.
Oh my God, Desmadre doing the corridos mixed up with like all the other. Oh man, like, I had to tell those. I was like, bro, like your set is perfectly made. It's like you mastered it. It's like as artists, we always want to figure out what set hits, and when you got it, you play it, and you play it till the wheels fall off.
There's certain bands that they get it. They know how to touch the heart of their crowd.
Yeah.
And so when you go to one of their shows, you're like, oh, dude.
Yeah.
This is taking me back to when I was a kid. Oh shit, like that's a classic I grew up to.
Yeah.
You know, and it's
like, Chucky too from Desmadre. I mean, he's got a creative mind for sure.
Nice.
For sure. Shout out to them, Desmadre all day for sure.
That's right. So what's going on with Migs Whiskey? What are some songs that touch your soul? Because I remember when I went to one of your shows and I'm like, dude, I love that song. And I was like, what's the name? I was like, you know, when you were sad, you know, you were so depressed, you know, you wanted to kill yourself, and you're all Death Valley.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, dude, I fucking love that song.
Yeah, I remember that day.
And you're all, that's great.
Yeah, Death Valley. I mean, I have to say it's for sure the song that started it all. I remember recording it on a couch, on a phone, putting it up on YouTube, and then next thing you know, everything started changing for me. I just knew like this was a sound that I really wanted to play. Subconsciously, I didn't know that the lyrics were literally telling me so much about myself. Like, you know, I slipped into the darkness. I go back to hell, you know, and I choose it. I was taking ownership for a lot of my stuff even before I could take ownership for it. And yeah, it was a dark time. I mean, but a lot of my life was like that, and there was a part of it that really got super dark, and that was like when my sister passed away from cancer. And after that, I got really self-destructive. I was always pretty destructive, but definitely the death of a sibling definitely changed the game up. And didn't want to use it as an excuse, but like somehow, some way, I started using it as an excuse, and eventually, I had to start taking some ownership and start dealing with reality, and
Yeah.
a lot of things change after that, for sure. But it brought a lot of good songs for me. I would say great songs, right? Like In the Rose Garden, Death Valley, and that was like one of the promises that I told her when I was at City of Hope. I was like, because she's like, just keep doing your music, just keep doing your music, you know? And she just knew that that's all I really had. Because outside of that, I never really invested myself into anything else, you know? My uncle always told me, get in the union and stuff like that. I was like, I don't know. I was super punk, you know? I was like, I don't want to live in a capitalistic world, man. And little did I know, like, yeah, it was gonna be a game changer. And I love the life I live today. And I've gotten, because of music, I've gotten to meet great people, you know, from actors, comedians, musicians I looked up to. You
That's
know.
right.
I've had some conversations with some people that I never really thought I ever would be even sitting in the same room
Inspiring
with.
conversation.
For sure. One of the best ones was too at the Rainbow one time, and I was in a pretty dark place, and I met an established artist in the music industry, and it was a trip how we met. And it was me and two homeboys, and we were just like after Viper Room, because I was playing Viper Room constantly. I was playing it like once or twice a month, and we ended up, one of the homeboys, Parvo, he never been the Rainbow, and I was like, I'm gonna take you, fool. And then we went, and next thing you know, this artist was there, and we had a good conversation, and that conversation put me right. Shout out to LP. That's who it was at the Rainbow. LP was there, and I mean, that song has like 1 billion views, and I was in a pretty dark spot right there too.
Really?
And I was like, I don't know, this thing's not working. I mean, and then everything he said, it just, it hit. It was on point, you know, and
For you as a musician.
for sure.
It gave you like a
It
realization.
was
like,
artist to artist being real with each other in a such it was a perfect night for me. It was just like one of those things, like, you know, when people always say seek and you shall find, you know. And it was one of those moments where I reached out. I'm like, man, you better send somebody to like talk me off the ledge, you know, because again, I'm having one of these moments where I'm like, I don't know if this is gonna fucking work or not. And yeah.
Seek and you shall find.
Yep. And again, for anybody out there creating anything or being in any new ventures, there's gonna be times. This year will be 10 years of the Migs Whiskey project, and it hasn't been easy at all. You know, there's been ups, downs, bad investments, met some shady individuals, you know, like, and just like when you think this is gonna work and then it doesn't pay out as much as you thought it would. And that's when you start learning not to have too much expectations and going into it for the right, you know. Right now, I've been reading off and on Rick Rubin's book, and that's helped me a lot too. So
He's
that's like,
major inspo.
that's a dude right there that, like, just any page I pick up from that book, I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna listen to this. So
You as an artist, what do you think? Label or no label? Like, you know, when signing.
yeah, I could go both ways. I like independence for sure, but owning 100% of nothing really is, you know, not the way you want to go. I mean, you need a backing. You know, I always think like you need that front money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like sometimes people tell me like, what would take you to the next level? I'm like, Feria. That's it. Feria, marketing, camera guy.
Yeah.
You know, all the time. You know, a van, touring, you know, and playing live is not a problem for me.
Yeah.
I've literally done, 3 or 4 gigs in one day, and they were not even in the same location. We had to like play the gig, do that hour set, go to another one. I think it was Fullerton, Anaheim, San Clemente, yeah, something like that. It was like Fullerton, Anaheim, San Clemente, and it was literally, that's the hustle.
And how was it?
I loved it. And everyone's like, hey, how did you do it? I'm like, you just do it, dog. Like, if anything, the second and the third gig is the best because you're already warmed up.
Yeah.
And that's all you got to do. And again, like, that's all I want. Like, I just, like, again, what would change the game? Yeah.
Have you written any new music?
Yeah, I'm working on a new album. Yeah.
Are you?
Yep, I'm working on a new album.
When is it coming out? No set time? No set time?
I'm all like, it's not so much about the time, it's about getting the feria. You know, studio, I go to this studio now. We've been recording at this studio, and I love it. It's just always on point, you know. Shout out to Pot of Gold, Dave Irish, straight up, you know, and I love that studio. I go in there and I'm not even gonna lie, and this is not to brag, we usually drop the song on the first recording. Like, there's no like, let's do another take. I think there was only one song where I was like, let's do another take of that. But it was literally the first. And I always feel like it's that first, and don't overthink it, you know? And that's why, like, I always tell people, come out to the shows. The music sounds exactly at the show like it sounds on the record because I try to keep everything clean.
That's right.
You know? And it goes back down to like growing up in the punk scene. Mm-hmm. I was like, I hated going to see bands and they didn't sound like on the record. You know? That's why, no offense to rap, like I can't see a lot of rappers because I know they're gonna sing to their CD. There's something about live performance, instruments, like I gotta tune, I gotta take my thing to a guitar tech. You know, it's, and again, there's a lot of investment in it, but you do it to get the best sound, to give the best service. And I think, again, that's it. I'm just a servant. You know, I like, the goal is to just, I don't know, play 10 hours a week at local bars and bars all over the United States and just live on the road. And I don't mind that. That's like literally the goal. It's not to be known or anything. It's just I want to keep playing.
Yeah.
Because there's something about that just is the high, you know. And it's, you know, I've played for a lot of people and I played for no people. You know, one time we make a joke, me and Vicious, we were literally playing this bar and grill, and there was a couple there, and they were not even there to see us. They were just they were there on date night. And then me and Vicious ended up doing 2 hours because we're just like, what the hell?
What the hell?
Hey, it's practice, fool. And it was just that. So you gotta have that spirit to not give up.
Yeah.
But don't get me wrong. Even the best get those days where they're just like, I don't know if this is it.
Yeah.
You know, and it doesn't help that it's not easy to monetize.
It doesn't crush your spirit.
No, yeah.
No.
You gotta keep it going.
Yeah.
And again, but you always get that one moment too when you see someone and like, you know that one song when you sounded all depressed and you wanted to kill yourself?
It inspired me.
It inspired me.
God, I love that.
Yes! That's what I was looking for.
Because it's songs like that for people like me to know that we're not alone.
Yes.
And that's why I liked it.
Boom.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amen.
Who are some people that you would be down to play with again or want to play with on a stage?
Anybody I've always played with. I mean, like, I going to that, I've played, and this is another thing about my career, I've played so many random shows. I mean, like, with rappers, metalheads. Yeah, I mean, like, I love singer-songwriters. That's, like, my thing, you know? Because, like, sometimes I'm not with my brother, you know, Vicious, and, we've been homies for a long time. We grew up together, you know? And,
I was just asking.
every project I've ever had, he was a part of it. It was crazy because like when I did the Migs Whiskey thing, right? Because that was like fresh. I started in like '09, really like started to like get this new little sound. But again, it started really in 2016. And it started because one of my homies was like, we gotta record this stuff, dog. And one of the guys is getting tattooed, rest in peace. Both of them have passed.
No way.
My homie Other, which was a tattoo artist, and Danilo, which was a studio engineer. And he was tattooing them, and they both died from drugs, overdose. And Other was like, we gotta record this. And I'm like, dog, I don't have the feria for that right now. Like I'm on my own tip. I just like to play. And he's like, nah, we're gonna figure it out. And it just, seeking you shall find. He's tattooing this kid and he's like, I got a studio in Santa Ana. He's like, yeah? You down to let the homie record? And at the time, I was obviously in a bad path. So the trade-off was substance. And then after, to keep studio time going, it was a tattoo. So bargaining.
Nice.
And that's how the fucking CD came out.
Nice at the time.
Nice at the time.
It was, yeah. You know?
Hey, it was a session for me, though. I loved it. It was definitely different, so.
It doesn't matter what you're into, you like Migs Whiskey.
That's right.
Yeah.
Hey, there's soul in it. There's
You know?
soul in it. And the next album's gonna have that same soul. And again, going back to the beginning of the music, right? It was what is it? Punk, hardcore, metal, psychobilly, rockabilly, right? I mean, you had all those. Saying in the SGB, Spikes. You had Spikes, right? You know Spikes too.
Yes.
And again, some of us were able to touch those dimensions, right?
Yeah.
Some riding motorcycles. Some of the guys that ride motorcycles were in those scenes. The hot rod scene, the Viva Las Vegas, the all that stuff. And I've been blessed to have a life that was well
Touch base on all
touched on all of them.
Yeah.
And I would have to say it was music and girls, for sure, right? It was for sure. It was music. I love music, and I love women. And women love music, and we go to shows. It was all these bands, and sometimes too, like it was these sounds were super interesting. Like the stand-up bass is such a great instrument. I'm like, gotta put that in there someday. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's another goal of mine. Is like I want to be able to have that cheddar to invest more into bringing higher guns.
Yeah.
Of, I want a stand-up bass. I want some keys. I want some harmonica. You know, I played at this coffee shop with this guy, and he played the saxophone. He did Death Valley with me, with the saxophone. And then there was an Asian guy at the same coffee shop. He did Death Valley with the cello. and there's something crazy about hearing someone do the same chords with a different instrument, but the love that they have for the song because they've seen you play it before, and then they're like, I got something for that. Collaborations are amazing. Again, who you down to collaborate with? Everybody. But again, sometimes in the music business, some people can't collaborate freely because they don't own their stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's always that third party. And I get that too. Again, we're talking about, you know, and so punk of me, it's like fucking capitalism, fuck the system. It's just, it's one of those things. It's just, you can't take that rebellious spirit out of me.
Right.
You know, and I'm still gonna have it. I'm like, I don't want to join your little group. I'm an individual. But then it's like, I don't know. Like, I kind of got to get through there. So you learned, you know.
Yeah. What made you want to become sober?
I got clean because pain, and it was affecting my my family in a negative way. specifically my son.
Really?
You know, I just felt like I wasn't the best version of myself as a father. And growing up without a father, like I felt like I didn't want to go down that path. And the most obvious thing too is cocaine gives you the drips, and the drips messes up your vocals. So when you're playing gigs and you're ruining them, and it's like the only thing that you thought is like your identity, or your who you are, you start questioning all that. But yeah, there was a lot of things. It was pain, the way it affected my family, the way I was not like the best father and the best artist. And yeah, I just felt like I got sick and tired of being sick and tired, and it had to go. And the only way for this to happen was to make that sacrifice. And that sacrifice was worth it.
And what'd you do?
What did I do to get clean?
Yeah.
Got honest with myself. I started seeking help through religious groups, supportive groups, literature.
Because you go to church.
Yeah, I'm a Christian.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm a Christian. Yeah, I'm a Christian more than anything. And
What's your favorite Bible verse?
So, what's my favorite Bible verse? I got a couple, but Psalms 23.
What's Migs' favorite?
Psalms 23 on the back of my back. I got it, and it's in Death Valley. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, for thou art with me. Yeah, that's what I would put on my tombstone.
Really?
Outside of maybe my affirmation, because I have an affirmation that I've been saying since 2017. I was created in the image of my Father, and my Father only created greatness, so I cannot be nothing less than that. Every time before I go to a show, play a show, that's what I say.
That part.
That part. Yeah, so it was Christianity, support groups. Started getting into the motivational stuff, right? Then Napoleon Hills and all that stuff. And
Helped you out?
it did. All of it helped me out. But I would have to say like the best thing that came from that time, from 2017 till now, was reading different books. I've always read books since I was a kid, but I started picking up stuff that was more personal growth and like deep thinking. You know, Alchemist is still one of my favorite books. There's another little book that I have in my library called Knight in Rusty Armor. I mean, you want to talk about a book that like I feel men should read, that had me crying. It just had me crying. It's about a knight with a son named Christopher, and his wife says, "You got to get rid of this suit. It's killing our relationship." And the suit has symbology of what a lot of males deal with, which I could relate with that. I don't know. I'm not gonna like put my story or the story of that to everybody, but like,
What book is it?
Knight in Rusty Armor. It was a great book, and yeah. So literature changed my life, and with the literature, I found out that there is a difference between sobriety and recovery. Sobriety is the abstinence of a substance. Recovery is actually healing and finding. So like sobriety and recovery obviously are two different words, and words have definitions. Sobriety, I'm sober, clear-minded, abstinent. Recovery, I've recovered my sweater. I've found my sweater, or I've recovered from my motorcycle accident. I've healed. So with those two definitions is, you know, you're in recovery. You're not only sober when you're healing and you're finding. And what I found that in my life, I could only speak for myself, I found patterns that were destructive, and I had to change that. And changing patterns that have been in hypnotic rhythm for a long time are not easy to change. And healing, man, that's a whole other thing. And the only thing I could say real quick about it is like, I had a lot of resentment towards my stepfather because when I was growing up, my mother told me he was my real father and he wasn't. And I found out through going through pictures and it was a game changer for me.
Really?
And after that, me and him never really saw eye to eye. And we were actually doing time together in 08, 09. He's still in prison, serving a longer sentence. And we weren't in the same spot, but we were in the same building. We were in Theo Lacey, and eventually when I got out, getting into this clean and sober story, I made amends with him. And I sent him a letter to explain to him how I felt. And when I got the letter back, he says, I never knew you felt this way. And that night I had a dream of two father figures that I had, which was him and my friend Anthony's dad. And I realized one thing. My stepfather was in his early 20s when he was raising me. And what does a 20-year-old know about raising a kid?
Yeah.
I have a kid. I'm 37, he's 14. And I learned to have mercy and grace for him. Yeah. Because we only can do what we know. And sometimes that's not right. Hurt people. And I guess I never saw his story on how he was hurt, but eventually made peace with it. And that's the kind of stuff that I got into when I got clean. I did deprivation tanks.
Yeah.
I did a sweat with the natives. I did that about 10 times. And it was always trying to get to this like search of something deeper. And,
Well, you're a seeker.
yeah. And it was a journey as I was going through the journey of music too. I was trying to figure out a deeper thing, and it actually helped a lot of the music because I think it made more fucking sense, you know, and to myself and to others. And there was certain stuff that it was easier for me to explain after. And there were certain narratives that I was like living by that were false, super false.
Yeah.
You know, I could probably go back on an interview and be like, yeah, he would say that because at that time,
That's who you were.
that's where I was.
Yeah.
So like the last interview I did was like 2023. Like that interview has got nothing to do with this individual now.
Yeah.
It's a part of it, but in 3 years I've grown. And I think that's the purpose of being a human being, is to grow. And I think some people like always will hold you back to something you said in a long time ago. And it's like,
That's not who I am anymore.
that's not who I am anymore. And again, I think music's like that too. Like there's certain songs that I probably wouldn't play that I wrote when I was 13 because I don't feel that way no more.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not mad at that one thing. And again, like punk showed me that. Punk was that for me. It was this angst, anger, but then after with time, you learn that like, you were just a kid.
Through music, through your grief, through your troubles, you seeked peace and you found it. You know, you people don't stay peaceful every day. You just don't get stuck there, and you're wiser and you grew as a person, you know.
Thank you.
You are at peace. Because you don't stay in one place. Doesn't mean that we're at peace every day.
No.
We just overcome those things and we know better. once you know better, you're going to the next step.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what seekers do.
Yeah, and it's not to say that like character defects haven't arise in the last 9 years, right? The music has 10 years. I got 9 years in recovery, you know,
Nice.
9 years coming up in June. And I can't tell you that it was always cupcakes, rainbows, and BJs. You know what I mean? It just wasn't. You know, there was a lot of things, and I mean, I don't mind bringing them up because it's like you got to do any mama. I mean, you know, it's like they're gonna think about it. I'll tell you the truth. There was infidelities. There was lapses. There was falls, and then there was a lot of things that again showed me that I still need a lot of growth, a lot of maturity in many places in my life. I'm not in any way fixed, and I think I never will be, but I will never go back to what I used to be.
You've grown and you've become emotionally mature, wiser. You're a seeker for peace, right?
For sure.
And to understand, how can I overcome these troubles? That's not who I am.
Yeah.
I don't want those habits anymore.
It would be insanity to go down a road that you already knew went nowhere. And the good thing about being a big time F up like me is you know what roads not to take. So, but that still doesn't mean that some of those roads don't feel good and you still once in a while take the wrong ones, but they're not as destructive as the ones I was taking at the time, for sure.
You know what's so crazy? What's that rapper OT, that Mexican guy from Texas?
Yeah.
There was something on social media, and he was like, he tells like this Twitch guy, I don't know, I think he's like some Indian kid, and he was just saying like sometimes like you dabble because it was like pleasurable, but it's still very much something that's not gonna make you grow. Even like the shit for like a day or two.
Yeah.
It's not even a part of your growth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's how it catches us to stay back. I can see that you're somebody that's wiser and you're like, you know what, I see Migs, he's doing it. He wants to be that better version of himself as a husband, as a father, as a friend.
As a son, as an uncle, as all that, yeah.
All
For
that.
sure. And I, like, if there's anything that I would want to give the audience as a writer, I would say journal. Find the narrative you're saying your story in. I read a book one time and it talked about like how you could tell a story in 3 ways, right? So like when you're in a comedy setting, you can make something traumatic sound funny. Like George Lopez, when he did Latin Kings of Comedy,
Yeah.
most of his stand-up was on like trauma. Like, oh, wait for me. It's like very traumatic stuff. But since it was in a comedy setting, it was funny. But you could say that story in like a support group like NA or AA, right? And then like they would be like, oh man, I get it. Or you could even say that story in other setting and change the whole narrative of it. So I learned this from like even like the legal system, right? Like the discovery is very important. So when you get a case, the lawyer gives you the discovery, and depending on what the discovery is will be the outcome. And depending what you say too in your testimony. And narratives are very important. And I think like you gotta start looking at what narrative you're using, and if you're being a victim, you might want to start thinking about that. Or, you know, it's all perspective, because I've been around people that have gone through a lot of bad stuff and they seem good out of it. And again, the last year hasn't been the best for myself, but I stand here with a smile and the positive mental attitude of wanting to go forward, you know, and because fuck, I prayed for this shit. I prayed to be here.
That's right.
I did. I wanted to be a singer-songwriter, respected and known by his peers. And it was never about cash. It was just about letting the sound go out. So anything that happens from here on is just always a win. And I'm not gonna ever think about it as a loss. And I have some great people like my aunt, Eva, which I like to call the wolf. And she keeps it positive. My mother, positive, you know. And I only want to be around people like that. That's it.
I love it. I appreciate you, friend, sharing your story and being here with us because we wanted to tap in more on who Migs Whiskey is. And I really love that you shared some wisdom with us because there's some things that, you know, some people need to hear. And I just want to ask you one last question.
But
What do you want people to know about Migs Whiskey?
well, Migs Whiskey is an artist, so the music, you know. Outside of that, my family knows who I am. They don't call me Migs Whiskey, they call me Junior. So as it is for the artist in me, just the music. I want the music to speak for itself. I never asked for anything else. I think the music should speak for itself. And that's all I do. Because I'm not only Migs Whiskey. I'm dad. I'm honey, baby, you know, hermano, mijo, tío. And I think for me, is when it comes to questions like that, I just hope you listen to the music and you like it. And even if you don't, I mean, I'm gonna go home to my kid, and that's the one person I really want the applaud from.
That's right.
No disrespect to anyone that supports me. I love you to death. Every time I'm there and I see people come, waste their money to come out and see me, I love it. But I don't want to make it my complete identity because I've definitely gotten lost in a mask, like the knight in rusty armor. That's pretty much it.
Definitely going to have to read that book.
No, it's amazing.
Thank you for your wisdom, friend. I appreciate you. That's a wrap.